Okay, and I am live. I am in our Discord. I am turning the volume down on the music. We'll go at about 30 for right now. Hopefully that's a good volume. Hi, folks. Hi, friends and foes. BearNPC here. Trying out our new Discord Hangout. As you can see, I'm in a Discord Hangout of one. It says that Discord is not reading my mic, but I don't believe that. My screen is turning green around the edge, so I should be good. Hope everybody's having a great day. We'll see if anybody shows up. But just so everybody is aware, what is said here during our Discord Hangout is just our personal thought processes, not necessarily showing or sharing all of the views of Crestfallen LARP on its own, because we are individual people, other than myself being here by myself. So, yeah. But yeah, hope everybody's having a great day. My day was weird, but can always be worse. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move from here to our actual website stuff. Like I explained in our previous videos, our website is available as a resource to you folks. It has all of the rules for free directly on the website, as well as it will have our schedule once it is updated for the year. It is showing nothing. As you can see, it is showing the next Discord Hangout is on ... I will get the new ones registered on here because we made the change for this year. All of our blog posts are older. We haven't done a new one since about 2024, I'm guessing, maybe 2025 at the latest. But what we were finding was most people were not checking the blog posts, and then we were referencing things from them, and people were getting upset, and I can't blame them. So if it is a rules thing, it is in the rules section, where we'll be going over most of the stuff. I'll be seeing if anybody's going to jump in from the Discord or in the YouTube chat here. So if anybody has any questions or any thoughts or anything like that, feel free and ask away. I'm going to move the rules over just in case, so you can actually see the body of the content there. So yeah. Normally I give it a good 5 to 10 minutes to see if anybody joins. Gil is on the way. Yeah, all good, man. No worries. No worries. We are live in the lounge on Discord, or you can watch here, whichever one works better. If you want to have your voice heard, it's perfectly fine. Or if you just want to type in the chat there, all good either way. Okay. Is there anything in particular you want to talk about, John? Okay. It says that the stream is going out well, with no issues and no frames dropped. So cool, 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 cool. I'm going to give it another couple minutes for other people to jump in if they're going to, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, this is our first time trying A, this time slot, and B, on this day. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more engagement. What we were finding in previous incarnations of the Discord Hangout was that people would come and listen to me ramble for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And we didn't really, it wasn't a hangout. It was just me talking at people and nobody really asking questions or commenting or doing anything like that. So I figured if that was going to be the case, we turned the hangout into like office hours for me to spend 2 hours on Discord to answer any questions anybody had. We took some of the in-game benefits away from it, and we saw most people stepped away. Hey John, how's it going?
So much loud.
So much loud? What is so much loud so I can adjust it for you?
No, it's on my end. You're good.
It's on your end. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Can you go ahead and talk for me so I can see if you're coming through over here?
Words.
You are saying words. Cool, cool. You're coming in, I wouldn't say necessarily loud, but clear. So that's good. I might just have to boost the voice chat up. I'll boost it.
I speak like a soft-spoken fey angel.
That, you know what, that's true. That's true. If we find out there's any audio issues, we'll go ahead and change that up. But how you doing, bud?
I'm alive.
Yep. That's where we're at. Especially today. Today was a weird one. People getting mad because technology, right?
Yeah.
That was something.
I had to recuse myself from that conversation because I didn't have anything nice to say.
Yes. Yes. I tried to talk calmly, and then I had to talk again because I don't know. I felt some kind of way, but it's all good. It's all good. It's better to get it off your chest and leave it go. But yeah, did you get a chance to see either of the two rambling videos that I made previous?
No.
You can say no. That is fine. You're not gonna upset me. So basically all I was doing was I took my normal Monday Final Fantasy stream and just turned it into a talking about Crestfallen stream. And the first one, I kind of went over newbie stuff and things that I suggested people do and look at on the website and like interact with us on Discord and all that good stuff. You know, the normal things that I would try to tell people if they were newer. And I went through a little bit of character creation stuff, but mainly the thing I was trying to hammer home is talk to us, you know, ask us questions, all that kind of stuff. We're not gonna, you know, we're not gonna push people away. We're not gonna be problems type deal. I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit too. And then the second one, what did I go over? Oh, item creation and spell creation and all that kind of stuff. Because Chaz thought that that's the bread and butter of our system. And I would say we have a lot of bread and a lot of butter. So I'm lax to call it one thing, but yeah. So I went over all that.
Bread and butter are great by themselves, but you gotta have a little something to put them together. Because if you just take butter and throw it at bread, you just get a soggy piece of bread.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't like a soggy piece of bread every once in a while? That's kind of gross, actually. But, you know, it is what it is. Ugh. Chugging from a 2-liter like normal. So I figured if we didn't have a lot of people, or we didn't have anybody that actually had any questions or comments or concerns or complaints, or the, you know, the usual, that we'd go over the conditions, because there are a lot we haven't touched on in game, kind of on purpose, because we don't want to necessarily overwhelm people. And Dade and I had well, we've had a couple really good conversations about some things recently. But he went to Next Gen last season, and he went for their Dark Elf event. And part of that was they wanted the Dark Elves to be scary. And what made Dark Elves scary in that game in previous eras is not scary anymore. And people are kind of stuck in that thought process of, oh, you just throw enough vertigo gases and death spells at people and they're going to be scared. And I'm like, that's not really the case. The thing is that, you know, as the games have progressed and the times have progressed, you kind of get complacent on what you use to scare people. And in that game, people have forgotten the old school killing character tactics. Because what was scary for you and I whenever we first started at that game was pin shun, leprechauns as characters that had, you know, enough pins and binds to get through all of your protectives, and then you're dead because you don't have anything to protect against it. And I think that the overabundance of banes and cloaks and all that other stuff to the high-powered abilities is really where the NPCs are not learning from those mistakes. They're just throwing the same things at them instead of going to some of those old tried and true lower level spells that people don't react as much to anymore. Hit some people with some repels and some other silly stuff that they don't have the protectives for anymore. But that was just my kind of tangent on that stuff. But
because you can have like 50 cloaks, but you can only have one shield magic.
Well, yeah. And so if all of your cloaks are versus death and taint blood and all of those, you know, player killer spells, some of that weaker stuff's going to get through because you don't have as many protectives to call out for it. So, but that's a big thing with the other game, and that's not what we're here really for. But you know, I thought that was an interesting conversation, because it, like I said, it very much was that old school thought process. So I figured we'd just go down the list and I'd just, you know, touch on a couple of the things on it. And then if you have any questions or anybody else has any questions or thoughts they wanted to bring up about stuff, like, feel free. I know conditions is kind of a weird term in our game because it kind of goes along with the way things occur in the game. Because like area of effect is a condition. Because proficiency is, and the thought process is that it is something that modifies the game in some way. I don't know if it was the best way to define everything, but it's what I did, and I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem with it. We'll see later on if we have any growing pains with it. There are a couple things that are kind of wonky. But I like it. I like the game being more simplistic than, okay, you can magic any condition and you can alchemy any condition and you can, I can't even remember, arcane any condition that they did over at Nero stuff. I'm not really a fan of that. I kind of like how it's a little bit more constricted over here, and I like not having spell strikes, but because that gets a little wonky too. But okay, first and foremost, we have area. So normally that is the area of effect. So if you have a fireball, it might be a particular room, it might be a particular structure, it might be within a prop. So very similar to other games, if you have some kind of prop on the ground to simulate an area, perhaps a wall or a building or anything like that, that defines the area. So if the target of this condition must take the effect of any damage or condition attached to it when touching or within the defined area during any part of the call. So it's not, I didn't want one of those by my voice, la la la, I put my fingers in my ears, I can't hear it. That's not the intent. If you're inside the area during any part of the call, you take the thing. So it's just a real easy way to define stuff. And I like it for like group teleports, and there's a lot of things that we could do with that kind of a feel. It's how the drum worked in whenever the gnolls were doing their thing. Because the area was defined by the spell. Battle is a condition that describes how long something lasts. So while combat is going on, or for 1 minute of downtime following, a battle ends for a character if they gain the spirit condition. Combat ends with at least 1 minute of downtime for all participants, or after being out of sight and range of the battle for 1 minute. Character that is being guarded or carried off by a hostile creature is still considered in battle for the purpose of the condition that of conditions that end following a battle. So we didn't want it to be, hey, everybody in the area gets slept, and then, you know, all the bad guys run out of the building, and everybody just keeps sleeping there for forever, because that's not cool. So to fix that, as long as people weren't being guarded, that's the end of the battle. You wait a minute, and then your character wakes up without needing a doctor or any of that kind of stuff. Because we wanted the doctors to be viable as status removal, but we also wanted the ability to, you know, capture characters and things of that nature. Yeah. Battle occurs when 2 or more characters or creatures are attacking each other. Some skills use the end of a battle as a condition for the skill to end. A character or creature is not allowed to hide at the edge of a fight to end such a skill on themselves. Anything in particular questioning on that one?
Yeah. Artificial extension of battle.
Such as?
I.e., such as 2-player characters have skills that last for battle.
Mm-hmm.
Between waves or whatever, or if they're expecting another something a little further down the line than 1 minute,
Mm-hmm.
then they periodically attack each other.
Interesting point.
Because you can attack someone without damaging them if you hit them on, you know, a shield or a weapon.
Yep, that is fair. That is fair. Interesting point.
Never did it.
Yeah, I think that's some cheese factor that I wouldn't be cool with. But I understand your argument there. I don't know a good way to change the wording on that or to do anything about it other than say that is not the intent and leave it at that.
Yeah, the only time I kind of felt like I had to use it was like during extended mods, where you feel like you're trying to get the most out of your skills because it's taking a certain amount of time for NPCs to reset or set up the next area, and it's kind of like a stop gap that kind of artificially ends the battle before you know you can actually get the use out of the skill.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a 2-part issue, right? If we don't have enough NPCs to really rep that appropriately, that's kind of where the player cheese comes in, because if you guys as players come in and sleep or paralyze or any of those kind of effects NPCs, and you know we only have so many, we're gonna just go and reset.
Oh yeah.
And there are some people that take issue with that, and my thought process is no, like there are more monsters out there than what we can physically rep with the numbers that we have.
Yep.
So that also artificially changes the scope of battle too. So in those kind of instances, I think the best thing to do would be to call a pause and ask if, hey, is this intended to be a continuous battle for the purposes of those durations? Or asking it beforehand if there's any concern on that aspect of things, and then we can just tell you type deal.
Is this encounter considered in battle?
Yeah. Because I mean, most times whenever it comes to that is the intention. There is always that kind of concern and things like that. And I know sometimes it is hard to tell whether, you know, there is still any fighting going on or things of that nature. So, I mean, that's fair. So I think that would be the safer bet in that instance, would be to ask for clarification just to ensure. Because any time that we're just going and resetting or moving around or anything like that, that is for the most part the intent. So anything else in regards to that? Because, I mean, that's a totally fair question. Fair thought process. Cool. I am taking notes. Okay. Berserk. Until removed or end of the battle, valid targets are characters and creatures. The target becomes enraged beyond control and attempts to kill all characters and creatures near them, starting with what they consider to be the closest, regardless of line of sight. The character must deal the maximum damage with all attacks and spell damage. This does not force the character to use any stamina or energy-based skills. So that was always one of those points of contention. I'm berserked at other games. Do I need to use all of my limited times per day skills? Because those games say, like, you have to fight to the best of your ability thing. I think this spells it out a lot better because your damage with your weapons and your spells are not necessarily determined by the amount of energy, and you're not forced to use energy. So you don't have to use your spells. If you have specialization, you can use specialization. If you have weapons, you can use weapons, whatever you want. But you just can't pull back that damage to let people go. I think this wording's a little bit clearer. What do you think? Thoughts on this thought process of Berserk?
Yeah, it's clear, and it doesn't hamper player agency.
Yeah,
as much as it could.
Yeah, I like it a lot with the use of the kinfolk augmentation, because then you can use that condition much more to your advantage, which I think is fun and cool. I know you and I have both played with that a little bit. I think it's fun. But yet again, it like you said, it doesn't hamper a player's agency. It doesn't hurt you. You don't go through all of your spells and effects, and then you're like, okay, I can't play the game for the rest of the event. Like has happened other times. So
the only question I have with it is, does the Berserk affect your mental faculties in a way that would make you not remove it if you have the means to remove it?
That's fair.
Because, like, if I have the spell,
yeah,
so I could use it, do my thing, and then remove it so I don't murder my friends.
I think that you trying to remove it is not you attempting to kill all creatures and characters near you, but having an explicit direction saying that you cannot remove it can be added just to make it abundantly clear. Because I could also see, that's going to be one of those things. Do you remove it, or after everybody else is dead around you, do you come down out of that rage enough that you can remove it from yourself? Then you have to use resources to save your friends and whatnot. That might, I don't know. But good talking point for sure. Okay, moving on to bleed, which is gross, which we didn't really use a lot until my Goblin General used it to pretty good effect last game. Bleed, duration until removed, valid on characters and creatures. The target is bleeding constantly and cannot benefit from any type of healing effect. This includes all effects that heal damage, bring characters back to life after becoming dead, and affects the extend death and dying counts. So you cannot first aid someone to slow down their dying count. You cannot heal them. You cannot stabilize them because that gets them out of the negative. All that jazz. Really bad. Really bad. And if used in appropriate timing, can be really dangerous. It was something that we saw in Dead Legends, and I think they had it in Dystopia Rising, and I think they were under different names. But I really liked those effects. I thought that they were really dangerous, and I thought they were cool. What do you think in regards to bleed there?
Well, I mean, I like it as it is. It is scary. Because if you get the condition, you need something to remove it, or you just take a completely different method of approaching battle.
Yeah. It's one of those skills that actually will give some players some pause to just rushing. Okay. Next we go to broken. And I think some people need to realize the difference between broken and destroyed. And one of the things we were talking about in the item creation and spell creation things was that broken is one of those good conditions that people don't necessarily think of for things other than weapons. So let's go through it. Duration until repaired. Armor, claw, item, limb, shield, or weapon. The target is broken and must be repaired before it can be used properly. Weapons that gain this condition may only deal 1 point of damage. Shields that gain this condition do not fully protect its owner, dealing 1 point of damage to its wielder every time it is struck. Additionally, a broken shield will not protect its wielder from a condition such as waylay if they get struck on it. Armor that gains this condition loses all of its armor points until repaired. Limbs that are broken may not be used. Hopping while in combat is not allowed. That's a safety, like, insurance thing. Claws and limbs that are broken may be fixed by medical training augmentation. Any other item that gains this condition is not usable. Items can be repaired to remove this condition using the appropriate crafting skill. Basic items that become broken are destroyed at the end of a battle. All tagged items lose 1 durability when repaired from the broken condition. So I should change the fact that the broken condition is fixed by forging. It is not all of the appropriate crafting skills. So if a potion gains the broken condition, it loses 1 charge, and that potion can't be used until it is repaired. If a building gains the broken condition, its special effects, whether it's a reduction on time for things, whether it's a buff for all the people within it, all that kind of stuff, can't work until it is repaired. And I know there have been talks between people about trying to make permanent items, which is totally fine and totally acceptable. But those permanent items still follow the rule. If they gain the broken condition, even if they are permanent items, they're unusable until they're repaired again. They just don't necessarily have durability to lose. So I like it because it's a way that we can take permanent items off the board for a short duration. If our NPCs are knowledgeable that they exist, whether it's a building or a legendary weapon or something like that. but it's not like the player doesn't lose that tag. They can still fix it and use it later and that kind of thing. So it takes some of the bad feels out. What do you think in regards to that stuff?
I like it. It's not too convoluted or anything.
Yeah. I think the big thing is going to really be if the one of the things we were discussing with the bomb going off at the end of last event was it going to give everything the broken condition and everything loses a charge versus it destroying everything versus, you know, all that. And the decision was to not, you know, do that kind of punishment because there, you know, the bomb itself was a plot point for everything leading up to that point. And we didn't want just the players that were in attendance at that event to take that negative repercussion as well as the other repercussions that would have been going a step too far. But we're not ruling that out or taking that off the table for like later things. Things targeting areas and blowing up some item tags and things of that nature. We don't want to do a lot of it, but it's a lot better if everything loses one durability rather than, you know, blowing up the entirety of everybody's stuff. That's kind of super dick. Charmed. So until removed or attacked by the caster, target views the character that charmed them as their best friend. This target will listen and follow most suggestions if they are things that the character wouldn't normally do for a friend, such as protect them, share information with them, lend basic items, and attack hostile creatures if they are unknown to the target. So it doesn't force you to attack your own friends. This will not force the target to go against their normal behaviors, including breaking laws, killing friends, giving away all of their items, allowing themselves to be defenseless, or killing themselves. The charmed target does not remember being charmed after the duration ends or when it is removed. I think for the most part, this spells out a lot of the ambiguity that are in other systems in regards to the whole charm thing. And yet again, trying to give players as much agency as they can over their character, but still making the skill effect or the specific condition be somewhat effective for the game. Thoughts?
Yeah, I like it. It did, like, with all your agency affecting conditions, you were real careful to make sure it didn't make it unfun.
Yeah. There are some people that love being charmed or enslaved or all those other conditions that make you fight your friends. And some people just hate it. And so trying to make sure that there's a good balance of not taking away people's fun for later on in the event. I really wanted to hit home with that. Cower. Until removed by standing, being attacked, target attacks, or 5 minutes. The target must fall prone or drop to one knee. During this time, the target may call cower. All intelligent creatures view the cowering target as harmless and will not attack them. Primal creatures such as animals and unintelligent creatures, most undead, may disregard the cower condition at the discretion of plot. Characters with a deduction skill may use it to ignore the cower condition. Stamina is used when using deduction in this way. Basically, that is the whole thought process of a player calling bullshit on basically people calling bullshit whenever somebody is pretending to be a coward and cowering.
Can you use other game skills while cowering, though? Because like the two ways I think about it, using like resistance in our game skills.
Yeah.
So if you get a say a by my voice effect that you can resist or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's still going to target you regardless of the cower, but you can resist it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you're a doctor performing that,
Mm-hmm.
you're already down on a knee, and where you can cower and then first aid somebody while you're on your knees.
Yeah. I mean, as written, I don't have a problem with that, because the only real definition here is that if you, as the target of cower, attack. So you calling defenses is not an attack. So I don't necessarily have a problem with it. The whole cowering and trying to heal somebody thing. Now, that won't stop somebody from trying to attack them while you're healing them. And then if you get hit during it, like, you would take the damage because they are trying to attack the other person. You can't like use that as a shield to protect yourself from that kind of thing. Kind of deal.
Using your shield to protect them. Because that's not attacking, that's just defending.
Yeah, that's getting rules lawyery, and I don't like it. Like,
that's what I'm here for.
No, I know, and that's the thing. Like,
but I mean, that is a very specific instance.
Yeah.
But it does really lend into the battlefield medic thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to have a whole bunch of like meta on that, but I understand what you're saying in regards to it.
Yeah, just thoughts I have.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Worth thinking about, for sure.
Looking for the cheese.
Yeah. Okay. Damage. Target of this condition takes the amount of damage set along with it. Taking damage should be acted out. If a player takes enough damage to lose all armor and body points, they gain the dying condition. So I didn't want to have I didn't want to get to the point where you had to have like a chart of like, you're at negative this, and then you sit there for this, and you can get into negative numbers, because that gets to crazy stuff. And I didn't want to have like the time chart or anything like that. So I put it real bluntly that dying is a condition. You gain the dying condition whenever you lose all your body points. Yeah.
Zero doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Man, Kevin would love that.
Right? Zero only exists for the stabilize spell, which then you wait there at 0, and then as long as you don't get stabbed again, you get back to, you lose the dying condition, you're cool. But Dazed. I love Dazed. I think it's one of those things that's not in the national game. What was that?
You're wrong about the stabilize. Because stabilize gives you a body.
Oh, okay. Well, then I take that back.
Sorry.
No, okay. All good. Dazed until removed, attacked, or 5 minutes. So the target stares off into space, not noticing or remembering anything that happens during the duration of the condition. If the target is attacked, they instantly remember everything that has occurred during the condition, including the character that put the condition on them, if seen or heard. If the condition lasts the full 5 minutes, the target believes that nothing is wrong and tries to go back to what they were doing, assuming that they were sleepy or zoned out for a moment. There's no way to regain memories once the 5 minutes has been completed. So it's kind of a memory wipe, kind of not. Trying to let people be sneaky, but there's real easy ways to get rid of it. And it's good for that quick, I'm trying to distract you to get by, or I'm just trying to get in to steal an item, or that kind of thing.
Interesting thing about days that I've RP'd a bit is nowhere in there does it say you're not allowed to move.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So you could wander into the woods or fucking walk in a random direction as long as you're staring off into space.
Yeah. I actually like that. Unintended consequence that I dig.
Yeah, it sells it more.
Yeah.
I know I've used it to kind of get out of the rain and shit. So.
No, fair. Totally fair. Dead until removed for 5 minutes. Target of this condition is lifeless and retains no sensory knowledge of anything. When a target gains this condition, all active spells end with the exception of bleed. Ouch. The target will remain motionless and silent during this condition unless specifically asked questions by other creatures using game skills such as medical training. If the target retains the dead condition for 5 minutes, then the target loses 1 essence point. The body vanishes and gains the spirit condition. There's a comma there that shouldn't be there. All in-game and out-of-game items are retained by the player. So, no stripping yourself down to your clothes. None of that kind of garbage. None of that people, killing you and then gathering up all your stuff later. All that kind of stuff. So, I like it as a good quality of life change on that. Anything in particular there?
No. The specification of bleed is important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it kind of makes sense, too, logistically. If you're bleeding, you're not going to stop bleeding just because you're dead. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you do stop bleeding when you're dead. You stop actively bleeding.
Yeah.
But the same wound is going to be there.
Right. And
CPR.
And I also like the effect of the dead condition is the one where you can't be moving and you have to be silent. But the dying, as we'll get to, you can groan and make noises and all that other kind of stuff. I like that differentiation personally. Destroyed. It's like broken, but worse. All the same targets. Well, or better, yeah. That's fair. The target item is destroyed and cannot be repaired. If the item is a basic item, it should be removed from the character sheet as soon as possible. If the target is a crafted item with a tag, then all durability must be removed, but it may be fixed with a maintenance skill or rebuilt with its full craft cost if the project design card is also used. Claws and limbs targeted with this condition are treated as if they had the broken condition and may be fixed by medical training augmentation. Yet again, hopping not allowed while in combat. So I love the thought process of players using their parents' weapons, their generational tools and items and stuff like that. So the thought process of them being destroyed and just broken beyond repair sucks. So I wanted to make sure that, all the durability on it is removed, but you can still repair those kind of items. It's just you have to basically spend the the cost of either maintenance, which is half cost, or for full cost to repair the item, rather than, you know, it's essentially building a new one, but you can RP it as it's just fixing the old one if you really want to, type deal.
Oh yeah, because it's not even like weapons and shit. You have to reforge the steel.
Yeah.
We don't just melt them into molds, even though Hollywood lied to us.
Darn you, Hollywood. Distracted. So this is basically similar to Days, in the fact that you kind of have to block out certain sensory things, but this is mainly used during the diplomacy skill, which I love. The target of this condition is distracted by the character or creature that used the ability. While the character is speaking with the target or keeping their attention, the target must only pay attention to the distraction. The target does not hear other people talking unless they are part of the conversation/act. The target does not see anything unless it is about the character or others taking part in the conversation. Yet again, another roguelike ability that I really like the concept of and want to see more stuff done with it on down the line.
And it feels weird when you're distracted by yourself.
That's fair. But I mean, very true to life, actually.
Well, if you drink something that gives you the distracted condition, are you distracted by yourself?
Technically, you're distracted by the item. But you are the administrator of that. So yeah, you're distracted by yourself, technically, yeah. I don't have a problem with that. Just having a long, meaningful conversation with yourself.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah. Now, I mean, later on, there could be other effects that pull other people into that distraction, which could be fun. Pondering.
I already have a spell.
Okay.
Haven't submitted it yet.
All good. Good old dominate. I like the word dominate rather than enslave or anything like that, because I don't want to bring up any trauma or things of that nature. Dominate is harsh enough, but not as harsh in my thought process. But such is life. Until removed, the target views the character that dominated them as their best friend. Same as charm. This target will listen and follow all suggestions and orders. This will not change the target's normal tendencies or tactics unless specifically ordered to do so. The target can be ordered to do anything. However, this does not give the player who used the dominate condition the right to be offensive or hateful. If at any point any player is uncomfortable with how an interaction is going out of game, a pause should be called. A staff member contacted at once for everybody's safety. So basically, the love potion clause that should have been there from the start in the national game. Don't use the ability to be creepy. It's just gross.
Wrong with a spell rule written by a dude.
Yeah. Well, and this is why dominate is never gonna be a unrestricted condition that players can get. Maybe later on down the line, there might be, a highly restricted way that players can get that. But that's one of those ones that we would guard very carefully of. And even then, if somebody's using that ability, it should be in a vastly public setting, so there is no possible transgressions in any way, shape, or form. Because that gets icky. Dying. Duration 1 minute until stabilized or until healed. Target of this condition is on the verge of death and retains no sensory knowledge of anything. While in this condition, a player will act out being wounded. Examples include groaning, making quiet statements, and subtle movements. Player cannot move from where they are located, but are allowed to reposition themselves as they're dying. 1 minute after entering the dying condition, the target dies, gaining the dead condition, and losing the dying condition. If a character starts using the medical training skill on the target, the dying count freezes at its current number. If the target is stabilized, it loses the dying condition and gains the unconscious condition with one body. If the target is healed, they lose the dying condition immediately and are conscious. So, yeah. Overall, pretty standard stuff there.
Yep.
Elemental is just damage of specific typing. All players take all of that specific typing the exact same currently. But it is flavored damage because the elementals that we do have in the game take additional damage from their opposite and are healed by their own. And our elementals are, some would say, strange. I like it that it's not like their own plane kind of deal. But yeah. Entangled. So instead of having specific spells for having your feet bound up and your arms bound up and your whole body bound up and all your other weird differentiations of it, it is just entangle arms, entangle body, entangle feet. Done. Character or creature with entangled feet can't walk, run, or move in any way from where they are currently positioned. Character with entangled arms cannot move their arms and cannot attack with them, but do not have to drop what they are currently holding and may walk/run. Pardon me. Character with entangled body may not move at all except to speak. Entangled body condition acts as both entangled feet and arms at the same time. So yet again, if kind of like you were saying before with some of the stuff, John, if you're entangled and you're holding a shield and somebody attacks you and hits your shield, you haven't lost proficiency with it and you're not attacking. So you're blocking that damage. So I hope your position.
Have your arms in a good position when you get.
Yeah. All good.
It says you cannot move their arms, so you could have your arm outstretched.
You could. Yeah. It kind of works like old Paralyzed did. It locks you in place, but you can't be repositioned kind of deal. Totally can. Fear. I typically don't like fear, but I also typically didn't like the whole stealth condition thing until I had my mind changed on it. There are some people that are not good at being stealthy that still want that stealthy feel to their character. So fear in the same way, kind of, I don't like the concept of it, but I think we changed the wording of it to an appropriate, tolerable kind of thing. Fear, duration until removed. The target of this condition becomes irrationally scared of the character or creature that used the ability. So it doesn't mean that you would normally be afraid of this thing, just you know that you're afraid of it, and it doesn't make sense to your brain, but you're still afraid of it. While under the effects, the target should attempt to remove themselves from visual range of the character or creature that used the ability. The character or creature may act out this fear in whatever way they wish, including silence, screaming, zoned out appearance, etc. Character or creature under this condition is not restricted regarding speed. So you don't have to run away. If you are large and in charge and you do not like to run, and you're afraid of bowling people over type deal. Likewise, if you want to run away to end the condition as quickly as possible, go for it. All good. one thing that I must add to that. Because fear does not say anything about attacking or defending. Just says about removal from the space.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is all good.
Throw spells, shoot arrows.
Yeah. So, Greater Undead. We don't have anything that's done anything with actual necromancy, undeath kind of thing. But this is kind of how the curses are laid out. Duration, permanent, whenever a character with 0 essence or a creature with 0 essence targeted this condition becomes a sentient undead with their own thoughts and decision-making abilities. So whatever creates a greater undead has to be used on a character with 0 essence or a creature with 0 essence. Pardon me. Whew. So that it's definitely going to be one of those, you have to be in the right time at the right place, or plan on being in the right time at the right time at the right place type deal. But essentially it is your character becomes an NPC at that point, at least until the undeath is removed, and then if there are ways to bring that character back to life again, then you can do that kind of deal. But yeah. Harm and harming magic. It's the same as damage. It's just harming magic heals undead. Heal and healing heals people. Hex. Until removed, the target of this condition takes double the damage from all sources until it is removed. This does not have an effect on healing in any way. So, there we go.
So you can't hex heal yourself.
You cannot hex heal yourself. And likewise, you can't use hex on a creature that is healed by elemental damage or harming to heal them extra. It don't work. Hidden. This is used for the stealth skill as well as hiding items on your person. Character or creature using this condition must hold one arm over their face, covering their mouth to denote the condition is in effect. An item with this condition must have a ribbon attached to it to denote the condition is in effect. While it's there, the target is invisible and can't be noticed by normal means. An invisible item may not be removed from a character or creature. So it's a, hey, don't steal my plot effect. Or, hey, don't steal my plot item kind of deal.
Yeah. Noticed by normal means. That was always my stipulation with this one, because, well, not stipulation,
question.
Foggy area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because what are normal means? Sight and sound, or just sight? Because hidden, the word itself kind of leans toward just sight, but can you still hear somebody?
You can still hear somebody. We've established that with the goblins. You could hear them moving around. They could move objects that would make noise and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So normal means just is more towards visual.
It's more towards visual, yes. So my bigger example would be if somebody has the sense magic and it's a magical item and it is something that you are actively holding, they could sense that. So that's a special thing they can do, not just their eyes type deal. Likewise, if they dropped somebody and were actively searching on someone, they could search and use their sense magic to basically sniff out that item in particular, if it was magical or something like that. But that's more in combo with those kind of things.
Right.
Knockback. We haven't done a lot of. I really like it. The target of this condition must immediately take 5 steps directly away from the player. If the target can't safely move straight away from the player, they must move as safely and quickly away from them as possible, but are moved 10 total steps. Following either movement, the target may not move closer to the player for 5 seconds, though the player may move closer to the target. And while moving away from the character and during the 5 seconds of non-advancement, the target may not attack the player in any way, though they may defend themselves, attack others, use abilities, etc. So it's the repel, but with a little bit clearer wording and allowing for those odd times whenever, I push you into a corner. Well, that's not really the intended purpose kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Any issue on that one?
No, but I have seen people swinging at other people when knocked back, like at the person who targeted them.
Oh, like like they got knocked back and they swung at people?
Yeah, like others, yeah, but the person that knocked them back is the one that they're not technically supposed to be able to target.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that could be something for NPC camp or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's only yeah.
Because I remember it from when Billy was rocking the flashbangs. Because someone would come at me, I'd use a knockback, and I'd still get 2 swings my direction from a knockback.
Oh, okay.
But those ones, because I knew the rules, I just didn't take them.
Yeah. No, fair. Yep. That will be a review. All good. Knockdown. Hold on.
The fun new one I've been using. Bonk.
Yep. Target of this condition must immediately fall flat onto the ground or drop to one knee for at least 10 seconds. During either of these motions, the target cannot attack other targets, defend themselves, or use any abilities other than cower. Please take other safety into consideration when acting out this condition. The only thing that I want to make abundantly clear is you can't do a knockdown and go instantly into like a killing blow thing. Like, that's cheese that I'm not cool with.
Oh yeah, you're still able to.
Because you're allowed to move.
Helpless.
Yeah. You're not allowed to defend yourself. You're not allowed to attack other targets. But I can move away from a blade, like aiming at my heart type deal. Mm-hmm. So that's just one of those things. Petrify is going to be probably added this year officially. As well as paralysis. Poisoned. Target is fatigued due to poison, and all stamina, energy, and resource costs are doubled until the poison is removed.
It's so yucky.
It is super yucky. You want to craft something while poisoned? I wouldn't. Not unless you had to.
Yep, sometimes you gotta.
Yep. Proficiency is how you are able to use weapons to their maximum effectiveness. So if something makes you lose proficiency, then you can't use them for a bit. We don't have anything that can do that yet, but that would be nasty if we did. Target of this condition may use weapons, bucklers, and shields they are proficient with to maximum effectiveness. But it is a cool way to give somebody proficiency in a weapon if the weapon itself grants the wielder proficiency or things of that nature. Can totally do stuff like that. Otherwise, if you're... Yeah.
For proficiency is for skills and such.
Yes.
There's no actual... Nothing in proficiency says you need this to like basically use like intimidate or slay, etc.
Yep.
So adding it because I remember we had a discussion about being able to use, you had to be proficient in order to use those things or apply those conditions.
Okay.
But it's confusing because proficiency itself doesn't say that.
Okay.
It's like I was able to pick up on the intent.
Yeah.
And everything that's coming into the game, but someone who's just reading over the website rules because it's the easiest.
No, that's fair. No, that's fair. That should be added. You are correct. Cool. Repel. Target of this condition is immediately compelled to leave an area and remain at least 5 feet away from it. This area should be defined by the area and/or voice conditions. If the target is within the defined area, they must immediately leave and may not make any attacks until they are 5 feet from it, though they may still defend themselves, use resist calls, and non-hostile countered actions. So totally can teleport out of one, all that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh, I just realized I could use area instead of voice to make spells cheaper to make.
Yep. Totally a possibility. Resist. Blanket call to show that you are negating an attack or something like that, rather than having a bunch of different calls for the same thing. Search harvesting. A character or creature may impose the search or search harvesting condition upon another character or creature. While this condition is taking place, all available currency and resources, if harvesting, must be given to the character or creature that is imposing the search. If this condition is imposed on a character, only basic and common resources must be given. Additionally, a specific item may be searched for, but must be named or described to the target being searched to be found. It's up to plot discretion to if additional tagged items or rare resources are given from NPC. So most of the times, NPCs will only search for certain amounts of currency or things like that, just to not be super dicks. But yeah, it can be as bad as give me all your money, give me all your basic stuff type deal. But this is more for players to do to monsters, stuff like that. Sense. Duration is 10 seconds, basically as long as it takes for whatever is being sensed out to make itself known. The sense condition simulates heightened or magical senses above normal perception. This condition is typically combined with a phrase of what is being sensed. Target of this condition. Hey Chaz, how's it going, bud?
Oh, it's going.
That good, eh?
Yep.
I'm
just really disappointed that you're not bringing the foil back for the devil crabs.
Zen. I am Zen. Yeah. Between that and the person that got mad because of the menu sending a message.
How dare you use Facebook that is...
Uh-oh.
I just picture a guy like, I can pinch, but I can't unpinch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was frustrating, but I'm good now. I was not good then. I am good now though.
I don't work for you, bud. I will jump in there and start a fucking cesspool. I don't care.
It's all good, my dude. All good.
Apologies, I gotta watch my language so I don't get your video taken down. So.
All good. It is, but fair. But we're just going through all the condition stuff and getting some appropriate feedback on some things.
And applying cheese.
And applying and not applying cheese, as would be. Would you like a quick recap of some issues that we found?
Sure.
So the battle condition.
Probably good for me to know about these.
Yeah. Well, some of them we'll probably be discussing at the symposium, and others we might not. We'll see.
Fair.
So the battle condition.
Mm-hmm.
Artificially extending the course of a battle by attacking your buddies to make sure that your spell is still going.
Oh, that's very cheesy.
Yeah, super cheese. Now, John brought up the fact of, he was like, I only did this whenever it was taking the NPCs longer to reset, and it was like a numbers thing. And I was like, okay, well, there's the cheese factor of using like sleep spells and stuff like that to artificially slow us down whenever there are seemingly more monsters in the woods type deal. There's that cheese that always happens. I was like, so whenever it comes down to it, if we think that there's a module where the time between confrontations might be extended, it's totally okay for like the players to say, hey, before this fight, is all of this fight considered one battle? Because that's real easy. You're like, yes, it's intended to be one battle. Like we don't want you to use extra resources or stuff like that. Cool. Or no, like there's extended travel time between them, things. So I think that clarification's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, I both agree and disagree, because if one of their friends got slept and they whack a friend to keep battle going, their friend is gonna still be asleep through all that.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm saying for like a plot directing it at the beginning of the fight, like saying,
sure.
hey,
but like that is also bad for the PCs, because if
Yeah.
you're like, this mod is intended to be a battle, like, if somebody gets slept and thrown in the bushes, they could be out of combat for like an hour. Like,
they could.
so I see that, like, I agree there needs to be something for the fringe cases and the munchkins, but I could see either side of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in all actuality, if they got slept and thrown in the bushes, then I mean, feasibly they should still be in the bushes for the hour, if that's kind of the case. But
right.
I got what you're saying. I do not disagree. But it's something to keep in mind. Next was Berserk. It doesn't say anything in Berserk about removing the condition on yourself.
Yeah, correct.
But I think the balancing factor is the condition says that you want to attack all creatures, all creatures that within your visual range and all that other kind of stuff. Target becomes enraged beyond control and attempts to kill all characters and creatures near them. So basically Berserk is already saying that, hey, you have to attack and attempt to kill the closest creatures / character already there. So then at the end of the battle, the Berserk would go away. Yeah, that's actually not bad.
Because I also have, where is it?
So that's what it is, John. The Berserk ends at the end of the battle. So basically, you have to kill all of the people around you. You can't remove the berserk from yourself. But after a minute, whenever the battle ends and your friends are not savable, then the berserk goes away.
Unless you can fix dead.
Unless you can fix dead, which is fine. Because nobody can fix dead now, but people might be able to fix dead later.
I'm working on it.
I know. All good. But Chaz, you're looking for something previous?
I was just looking up Berserk to see what the wording was, because I know I had a feel about it. It wasn't necessarily a counterpoint. I think a lot of people see this does not force the character to use any stamina or energy-based skills, and they kind of get the thought that like they can use things as they deem necessary. That might be where the disconnect about removing Berserk from yourself came from.
Yeah.
But I do think that it would be good just to have that note in there like, hey, you have to take offensive actions.
Yeah.
You gotta kill the people.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. In broken condition, whenever I was talking about in the crafting and spell creating video, I was talking about how whenever we do have permanent items and stuff like that, those items can still gain the broken condition, meaning they don't work until you fix them.
But then they could be fixed, yeah.
But then they can be fixed. So it takes the bad. You can still take it off the table, but
yes.
but the trade-off is like you can still fix it, so you still have your thing. You aren't losing your thing. So in here I have that you use the appropriate crafting skill. I need to make sure that it says the forging skill, because that's the only one that can fix the broken condition.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was reading that. I'm like, wait, can you fix items with other?
No, that was not the intent. So that was a
fair.
Goof up on my part.
I will enchant this sword back together.
I was like,
Yes.
hey man, like.
Wait a minute, that just gave me an item idea. I don't have the crafting skills.
Quick, write it down.
Next was the cower skill. Can you use... So the wording on it is very specific. Cower is active until you remove it by standing. You are attacked. The target... you are attacked as a target for 5 minutes. So John brought up the point of, okay, can I cower and then act out that I am afraid still, but also act out that I am healing somebody as a doctor?
Gary, put your guts back in.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
No, I don't have that issue either.
And then he was like, I was saying, okay, that's fine, but like me as an NPC, I can still attack the person that you're doctoring. I can't attack you, but
Correct.
if I make an attack on them and I hit you instead, you are still taking the damage, because you're kind of throwing yourself in front of that, not...
And that would also break their cower, because
Correct.
they were attacked at that point.
Correct.
Okay. But if that person also had cower and they were both cowering.
If they were both... Yeah, that would... Yeah. Because then
you're cowering...
We're...
You got dropped. Well, no, that would break it. So you can't cower and be dying at the same time.
You can't be cowering and dying, but you can be cowering and at 1 hit point.
Yeah, you could be badly injured and cowering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There is video proof of that if you watch Oz's fight in the court.
That is true. No, that's a valid point, because if I'm attacking the one that is being healed and I hit you instead, you were the target, you were attacked. Therefore, that would drop the cower. So even if you had a shield, John, and you used your shield to block it, you could block it once and then you're not cowering anymore.
really cool. That's like that's a cool thing to like as a small group to like build yourselves up to do.
Yeah.
Join us, we're Cuddle Puddle.
They all look like when you first played Billy. They run into battle when shit gets hard. They all just hit the ground.
Yeah.
Just.
Rip, something still hurts from that.
I believe that.
Dude,
it looked so good though.
It did.
Like, top tier roleplay.
We talked about the dazed condition. In the dazed condition, it doesn't say anything about movement. You just have to stare off into space. So John's was like, yeah, I've wandered off into the woods, kind of, you know, almost like zombie walking yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that per se. I don't have an issue with that.
That's fair, but like if you walk off and nobody fixes you, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot.
Well, yeah.
Like,
but after the 5 minutes,
I got dazed at the start of battle, and then I wandered the fuck off while my friends are dying.
Yeah.
5 minutes from now, I'm like, oh, it's a wonderful day. I'm glad I decided to take a walk.
Yeah.
But I also like it because if you are wandering about, your allies are gonna be like, "Hey, something's wrong with him," so it kind of increases the immersion.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I like that. I never really thought about that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Like when we got to that spot where we traced the essence down by the freaking way off in the woods cabin. I was dazed in that battle, like through the entire second and third waves, because no one realized that I was dazed.
Nice. After that was what? Fear.
That's like the weirdity that like in like 5e, the fact that like incapacitated doesn't say you can't move.
Yeah. Yeah, doesn't it just say like your speed is 0 or something like that? So or something like that. I don't even remember.
You can't take any action, bonus action, or reaction, and you can't speak.
Oh, yeah. So you can run around all you want.
Yeah. Like, I'm just gonna sleepwalk. Well, no, I think sleep is specific about you. But yeah, like most effects that are intended to keep you in the place specifically say you can't move.
Yeah.
Just the condition didn't, and this is very similar to that.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Hey.
I am here.
What's up, buddy?
Not much.
I thought you were playing Half Sword or whatever it said you were.
I am.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Multitasking.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So next was Fear. Fear not stating anywhere in it that you can't attack or defend. You just have to move out of range. So, yeah.
I have always been out of courtesy not attacking, but
well, yeah, and you have to move, away from the one that feared you.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see what else. And then proficiency, it doesn't say in proficiency that you need to have proficiency to use the other abilities in your specific like skill stuff. So I need to add that in. Because that should be a thing.
What do you mean by that? Like you can't use like slam with something you're not proficient with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. We have people out there buying sleighs and using things they're not proficient with to slay.
That wouldn't work because the maximum a broken thing can do is 1 point of damage.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
in the broken.
Wait, that's been happening?
condition.
No. We're just
Oh.
saying for clarity to make sure that nobody is confused by that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the damage thing shouldn't ever be an issue, because that's
I was about to say, have I been failing my job for the last 2 years?
No, all good.
That's number one in the broken condition, is that weapons that have that condition may only deal 1 point of damage.
Yeah. So
But
yeah.
that is a good add. You definitely don't want people like picking up things they're not proficient with and dazing and staggering and
Yeah. And then what was the?
Ah, dang it! No, that actually does. That breaks one of my busted builds. That was the pacifist build, dazing people with your unproficient knuckles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well.
So I have to pick up my big ass sword to make people run away.
Yeah. What was that other one? Oh, okay. Yeah, and the other thing John broke up was in the hidden description, it says the target is invisible and cannot be noticed by normal means. And he was asking for what we meant by normal means. And we kind of talked about it whenever we were talking about the goblins. Like they make noise, they make things move whenever they're doing their stuff. And everybody's been really cool with RPing that for the most part properly. But so it's mainly a visual invisibility thing, not necessarily an audible thing. But I also brought up the fact of if somebody is using like search and using the sense ability, like they could search somebody for something magic if it was an undead that had search sense magic type deal.
Yeah. We've seen that.
Yeah. So just, making sure that kind of stuff is kind of clear. Yeah, that's about where we were at. Silenced. Pretty simple. Target of the condition may not speak or cast spells until removed. Yep.
But I can still grunt.
Yeah.
Excellent.
As a kind of funny aside, we were I was running a pre-made, and Renee and Mira were interacting with a mime, and Renee locked in. She was like, "Oh, okay, no, I know exactly what you're saying here. I know exactly what you're saying here." And Dade was like, "Dang, that was like really efficient." And we explained the whole Magic Harm Undead 30, trying to express your thought processes as you're responding with a repeatable incant that you can't break type deal. And that was fun. That was good times.
I also made a comment. I was like, this is my call out post to all the people that judged me for taking sign language as Hubert. Like, this is when you will need this skill. Because I was like,
I'm not gonna lie, like
linguistics.
That's been my number one favorite addition into the new 5e. Like, every character I play has fucking sign language. It's so good.
Oh yeah. No, it was cool because Dade was like, "Oh, what languages should I pick?" "Oh, sign language. It's right there." And he took it. And I was like, "Yep, that's actually going to be important for this adventure."
Well, not only that, the thought process for the pre-done was that I was working for the Witchlight Carnival, if we're allowed to shout that out. Sorry if we weren't.
No, all good, man.
And I was like, well, what, like, there would be deaf kids that would come and want to pet the Displacer Beast, so I need to know how to talk to the deaf kids who want to play with the Displacer Beast. So I was like, I would take...
You wouldn't need to, like, say anything to them, though. Durla would just let them pet her.
It's not. It's not that. It's there were baby ones that ran around. I was
Oh,
playing the
okay.
Beast Heart class, and the Beast Heart class is Ranger, but you get Beast companions, and my Beast companion is a Displacer Beast.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the whole idea was that I was the guy that was like, "Oh, do you want to pet the baby Displacer Beasts?" And if the kids were like, "Yeah," I would basically tell them how to pet the baby Displacer Beasts. But it's been a super interesting concept to play because I very much went jungle tactics with it. Because I was like, well, they're tactful enough to be jungle cats, so stealth and go. And there were moments where it came in clutch.
Dope.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and he didn't know the whole fact that Star is missing, and I told Dade, I was like, about a week ago is whenever you and Durla actually got close enough that she let it out that happened. And he's like, oh F, no, I'm fixing this. This is not happening.
I love that module so much. Like, it is so good.
Well, they got through all of chapter 1. We played for like 9 hours straight.
9 hours, and then I played a second game, so I did 15 hours of gaming that day.
Hell yeah.
Never gonna do that again. I hated that.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
that sounds like an amazing day to me.
Look, it wasn't bad because it kept me busy, but it went from one game to another that it was a flippant thought process because
Okay,
it's like
I can understand that. I would not be happy to have to.
Falivius Copperfuzz is a satyr with the Displacer Beast companion, and I had to go to like carnival-esque, like, oh no, it's all good, and very cheerio. Like, I was running around like a madman, being like, yep, we gotta help the halflings. Oh, we gotta help the Firefly crew. Yep. And then it was jumping from that to one class I don't know to a blood hunter who is socially awkward and is hated by everybody right now because of the fact that I'm socially awkward. So it was a lot of, okay, I went from being the guy to help everybody and my friends that I just met to I need to just kind of keep my mouth shut because everybody isn't a fan of the like. It's coming back around. There was something that happened at the end of that game that like I came in clutch and helped out everybody. Technically not possible within the rules, but the DM was cool to let me do it. So it got us out in a pinch, and now we're stranded in the middle of nowhere. But we'll persevere.
Yeah, I could definitely understand the character whiplash then.
Yeah. I was trying to make our session not end super close to that, but just there's a lot of content that they were trying to get through and whatnot. And
like I said, I'm not complaining. Like, it was interesting to do 15 hours of gaming, but I would not make that a regular occurrence. Like, if it was to happen again, I would probably be like, fine, and do it again, but I would rather not.
Yeah, the first time I ran Witchlight, my group was so excited. They're like, "Oh my god, we're gonna go everywhere and we're gonna do everything!" I'm like, "Oh my god, you guys have no idea how big this place is."
Yeah. No, it's all good.
So yeah, I think it was like 2 6+ hour sessions.
Yeah. No, I can understand. Like, they told me about the other character, and it is like night and day. So I can understand the whiplash totally too. It's a lot. So I'm trying to go through a bunch of the 5e pre-made content that I never really got to run. And we're just keeping it to people here at the house so that whenever we decide to pick it up, we can pick it up and put it down pretty easy.
It's so good. Like, if you're gonna like do something out of your norm, that is the best way to do it, in my opinion.
It was really cool because people got together. Like, we all went and we all picked out of the books. Well, I majority picked because I was there, and I was like, I want other people to have a say because these are the ones that are interesting to me. If there are ones that are interesting to others, I want them to say. And it boiled down to Witchlight, Descent into Avernus, and Icewind Dale.
All great. They're all great.
Yeah.
And I think it was Baldur's Gate that got voted out first.
Yeah.
And it was a tie between Icewind Dale, and honestly, what won it over was Baron was like, well, in Witchlight, there's Displacer Beasts. And they were like, we like Displacer Cats. So that was what was the icing on the cake.
Well, and what was really cool, too, is they all picked, like, weird races for their characters.
That is fantastic.
I do love that Renee is a plasmoid.
Yes.
I love it.
Amazing. I've wanted to play a plasmoid for a long time.
Well, it worked out really well because Dade was instantly like, I'm trying the MCDM Beast Heart. And he was like, I want to do the Displacer Beast. And we looked at it and they didn't have the stats for it. And he's like, crap. And I was like, wait a minute. I think it's in the other book I have. And it is in Flea Mortals. And I was like, the only difference is they made the Displacer Beast white instead of black because of, appropriate, legal ramifications. And
they called it something different too.
Yeah, like a light bender or something like that.
I think, yeah.
But so he was already on that aspect. And then Mira was like, okay, I can be an owl person. I'm being an owl person because why wouldn't I be an owl person?
It's not even just that she really loves owls. So
yeah.
When she was told you could be an owl, she was like, I want to be an owl.
Yep. And so, yeah.
And we've already made that joke.
I figured I just needed to get it out of my system.
No, all good.
I got it.
And
she really wants to fight something.
She does.
I don't blame her.
She was like, I don't know what I want to play. And so it was like owl person. Oh, okay. Well, I was like, I don't think you can wear armor if you're an owl person and get your wings. And she's like, okay, well that sucks. And I was like, but both monk and barbarian have their extra bonus thing. If you aren't wearing armor, you get other stuff. And she's like, oh. And then she was like, yeah, I'm going to be an owl barbarian. I was like, okay, cool. And so we were rolling up her stats and doing all that kind of stuff. And she was just like, she's like, yeah, okay. And then the whole first thing, they didn't fight a single thing. and you could just tell she's like, yeah, I want to get in a fight. Yeah, I want to get, okay. But she still had fun. Like they still did things and she got to interact with things. And her character, she took the Fae Lost background. So she was captured by some dark Fae previously. And yeah. And then Renee, I was like, okay, this is the easiest way to do this. Renee, you're a plasmoid. You crash landed your ship here during the carnival 8 years ago. You had your distress beacon and you were wandering around trying to like see what was in the local area. And it's the only thing you had on you, and they stole it from you because you didn't buy a ticket because you're a freaking alien. And she's like, cool, I'm down. And so she's like frantically looking for her distress beacon so she can get home. And Dade's working for the place, and Mira's like, oh, okay, I interacted with a Fae before, so it's all working out. But it's just cool that they're all like really weird characters and fun. So
I will say the neat concept I enjoy about my character is throwing the loophole thing of the fact that everyone's like, yeah, I'm looking for our items, I'm looking for our items, and I'm the guy that's like, even though my item was a family heirloom, like, I have made a new family here at the carnival, and if I was to lose the carnival, I think I would lose a bigger part of myself than the drinking stein I lost.
Yeah.
Like, we were all given a dandelion to wish, and my wish, I was like, I just want Dilgron to have her daughter back.
So
Like, that's it.
yeah. The other thing is, like, I knew for a fact that I needed to read all of the adventure first, because I knew that between the three of them, someone was going to throw something at me that was going to try to break one of the things.
Yeah, you know.
And so there's the whole Tasha's hideous laughter box with the halflings thing, and the male halfling is like trying to run into the Hall of Illusion, and they have it already set up that like he makes it inside. And Dade was like, I work at this carnival, I'm coming at it from this angle, they're coming at it from the other angle. My displacer beast has a movement speed of 50, so dashing, it's 100 feet in a round. Like, can my displacer beast get there before he gets inside? Because I clearly see what is going on with this, and there's no reason not to. Like, I know the adventure says, hey, he makes his way inside, and then you have to look for him and think inside the thing, and then it takes you X minutes to find him and all this other stuff. I was like, but that's kind of bullshit. Like, the displacer beast can run that fast and get in the way. So I was like, fuck it. No, it's fine. Like, you stop him from running in. Cool. There were a couple things like that. Like, I know why they wrote it that way. Like, because most people aren't going to necessarily read into the things as much, but I went with the flow on it and like let different things happen in a different fashion. And no, it was cool. I like changing up pre-mades like that, because I hate it whenever they feel so on the track that is like, no, you can't stop this thing even though you saw it coming from a mile away. Dade was already like,
that's the thing. So many people get into the mindset that because it's written a certain way, like, you have to follow it to a T.
Yeah, and that was honestly what started the whole pre-done thing, was because a buddy of mine, I will put it that way,
yes,
ran the Sunless Citadel, or the Sunless Soup Kitchen, depending on what you want to call it. And legit had it where every room we came into with a kobold or a goblin, we had to kill. Just straight up, had to kill. And then Baron was like, you do realize that, like, you could have pit them against each other and they would have led you to the tree or something along those lines.
Yeah,
and I was like, are you kidding me? And he was like, no, that's in the adventure to the thing. Like, you could totally pit them against each other. And I was like, well, I wish I knew that. Because, like, the person who was running the Sunless Citadel for us, who actually kind of made me dislike pre-done adventures to begin with and never want to play one again until now, like, was, we open this door, roll initiative. You open this door, roll initiative. And we murdered almost every, like, goblin and kobold in that place. So when I find out all these years later, you could have, like, basically, like, set them up against each other. I was like, I would have done that if I knew that.
Yeah, I don't remember which side of it was, but when I ran it for Ange and CK, they sided with one of them, and it's totally an option.
Yeah. No, and
the end of that module was one of the most profound moments in, like, a game that Ange had in a while. Because if you keep it specifically to like how it's written, did you finish it, Dade? Because I don't want to ruin.
We did. We got down to the tree. I think we burned it for some reason. I don't remember.
Did you end up saving anybody?
The halfling in the cage with the rock.
Okay,
That's about it.
But like
That I remember.
the girl that you were in there to find.
Nope, that wasn't even brought up at all.
Wow. Okay. So that was
Yep.
the first time I had played a pre-made where like you're going through and at the end of it, it's like these people are dead and you can't save them. I'm like, wow. Yeah, okay. But then my characters did really good, and I'm like, yeah, you like you get her conscious and she's like happy and thankful, but like you just can tell that she's not gonna last the night. And it was like this huge downer it ended on, but like Ange still talks about it. She's like, damn, that was just like heartbreaking. We went through everything, and she ended up going back to the like quest giver and like kept giving the money throughout the rest of the campaign. I threw
And
it
golden
in.
in a note.
10 gold in a note.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it's funny because that game was also the very beginnings of Boulderton. Because you know the halfling that is stuck in the cage that you can save?
Yeah.
Or the gnome. Sorry, it's a gnome.
Oh, it is a gnome. Sorry.
I think it's a gnome.
Hey, do you want me to pull the book out?
No, it's okay. It's not super important right now. So he's stuck in that cage with that rock, right? That rock is Tedwardo. That was his way of dealing with being captured for so long. And that he personified Tedwardo.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah, and so like later on, like I brought that back into the game because Brad, who played Ezra, who eventually became King Ezra, went and basically made him the mayor of the town. And what the gnome did was he went and hired a bunch of people to go back into the Sunless Citadel and excavate Tedwardo out of the Sunless Citadel and bring it to Boulderton to be the mayor. And that's whenever Brad realized that it wasn't necessarily the gnome making it a personification, but like the gnome literally was hearing the voice of someone type deal. And he was like, oh, I don't know if I like this or not, but I'm running a kingdom, so I don't have time to deal with this right now, and just let it go. And so that was part of the thing. But no, it was cool. It was cool. We got a couple more of these conditions to get through. But it is almost 11. How about we talk about the tabletop, the digital tabletop thing for Crestfallen, rather than getting into those, because we're already kind of on the thought process, kind of as we've been going over this. So Dade and I have been talking a lot about it, and my big concern is I don't want it to be a pay to win, like plot submission type deal.
Right.
For other games. So part of it is it has to be affordable. Part of it has to be that we, as we grow as a game, we can have it so that we can support it enough that if people want to do that, they can continually do it. Because if you think about it, if we make it $10 and you get 1 character point for each one, and you can only benefit from it once a month. There are some people that will pay for that once a month game and learn more about Catalosa or how they want to interact with the plot, depending on which person they are interacting with, and can get some stuff towards their character ahead of time and or between games.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that it is fair across the board. So the thought process of, if we as staff are running the thing, we get the same benefits that anybody that is playing the game does. And the one thing that I said to Dade, I don't have a problem if, like, I'm running one of these and Dade wants to play in it because he thinks Davrin would fit well and he wants to play with you, you know, to establish his character. I don't have a problem with that, as long as there are open slots available. I want to leave them more for the players first, because and I don't want any of the people running things to double up on the benefits. So whatever the benefit is for that month, anybody running a game doesn't get double for running one and then playing in one. They get just the one benefit. And the only extra thing is, cool, Dom, thank you. So that's the thing. The people running them can still interact with them and play them if there's an open spot, so they still get the in-game interaction thing. And I think it would be cool because, like, Renee wants to be involved, but with the kids at the ages they are, that we're getting to the point where we could leave them to hang out at, like, my parents' house for the weekend, or my sister's or something. But it's not going to be a regular thing. So she wants to be involved. She's super excited to be at the tavern night, but we're not sure how involved she could be. So this is a way that she can get her character involved and learn about it.
Yeah.
So overall, I think it would be a really good thing. I also think it would be a really good, yes, I agree. And Dade said he has agreed.
I do have the stream. I do have the stream pulled up on my phone too.
Oh, all good.
Because I was doing something else, but I was watching.
No, all good.
I could also do that.
But yeah, so I think it would be great for her in that aspect. I think it would be great for new players. Like I could write one, like 2 or 3 different, like, intro to Catalosa adventures. Because depending on if you're an inspired or you're, I'm going to switch this over. Whether you're an inspired or you're a traveler or whatnot, I could run different pre-mades for new players so they could get a feel for Catalosa before they actually even attend, type deal. I just don't want it to get to the point where any of us get burnt out from doing too many of these. So if it is limited to, like, every the 3 plot directors each can run one, and we can have 4 to 6 players in them, and as we feel more comfortable with it, spread out and branch out, that's cool. But yeah, limiting it to 1 a month, so nobody feels like it's too too much pay to win type deal. But we already had the discussion kind of at the restaurant before about how not all of them even have to be related to Crestfallen. They don't have to be, but it gives Dade a chance to run the Goblin War stuff that, you know, we don't normally have NPCs enough, or it's not grandiose enough for his vision, but it can still have an impact on Catalosa. And he can kind of still direct that kind of deal.
Yeah, just with how the year went for that plot, I knew that it was impossible to continue it within a LARP setting, which is why I rushed to end it, but I rushed it to a fine mid-season finale, is how I feel about it. Like, it is not at all what I really wanted to do, but it needed to happen. But ever since we started discussions about the tabletop thing, I was like, wait a minute, I could turn this around just a smidge. And rather than making it a complete halt, I was like, I could just turn this into one of the D&D tabletop things, and that's fine.
So, yeah, I mean, my gut plan is $10, 1 character point. I think that I don't want to have any of the like items that you get in the adventures or anything translate to things that you get in Crestfallen unless it has like blanket approval. But I did bring up to Dade, and I think this is a kind of a cool idea, is basically between events, you have that week of like downtime that you're researching your spells and your stuff like that. If some of that stuff is kind of talked out during these, I don't mind that as much. I mean, it definitely wouldn't necessarily be the mechanics. But giving players the chance to talk out their thought processes, very similar to the way that we do the emails back and forth. The email would still need to happen, but we would get a better understanding of where the person's thought process is for that kind of stuff too. I think that would be cool, but leaving it to 1 character point, you gain so many leaves and you gain so many resources, and having that be a set thing that everybody gets. So it's never like, oh, well, I got the really cool. We don't run into the LCO components of other chapters being way higher and lower and all that other kind of stuff. It's a standard across the board. This is what you get. And the plot is the driving factor. Is that
thank God.
what's that?
Sorry, I was running low on pistol ammo in the game I'm playing, and I found some.
Oh, okay. But do you guys think that whole thought process and concept's fair?
Yeah, I think it sounds solid.
Same. I like it.
Cool. I don't want it to be like cool. I definitely don't want it to be like overpowering, money wise or anything like that. I mean, if people have $10 to throw at it and want to do a thing, cool. And I think it's limiting enough that it's not a big deal, but people have the free time and want to do it, and they're cool with that. I think it's neat. And we already said the bonuses of possibly getting, other people that aren't into LARPing yet to have that test out experience thing. Do you guys think that we should keep one specific rule system for ease or what? Because
I mean, we talked about it today. I feel it would be easier because if you just have a bunch of systems running around, it's just going to complicate things.
yeah,
In my mind. Because, like, if you choose one system and I choose another, people are going to have to be like, okay, Dade's running this system. So if I am playing this same character, I got to basically refigure out how they work. Because I have to translate it from one system to another.
yeah. Well, some of that we're already going to kind of have anyway, because the games.
So Dom said about items transferring to leaves.
Yeah. So
About what you think about that?
yeah. No, so basically the thought process would be everybody would get 1 character point. Everybody would get a certain amount of leaves. I'm thinking like 25 leaves. I think that's a fair amount. And then getting like 10 basic resources or something like that. Because then it gives you, I just thought of something else cool actually. That also makes it so if you are a brand new player, you already have the resources and the leaves to trade, to, you know, get to buy your starter equipment or have somebody make you your stuff. Or if you've been missing for a bit and you want to reincorporate yourself into the game, it's a real nice way to do that. I don't want the items to actually occur during the tabletop sessions. I was more talking that role play of figuring out how to craft the items can or could happen during the tabletop game, and that just might make it easier for us to approve them for the actual events, because I don't want people using the tabletop games to make a bunch of spells and make a bunch of crafted items. That I think that'll be too much.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, it could be way too much. Yeah, whenever we were talking the systems and whatnot, I like the thought process of just using one system, because then it is easier to track and then we don't have to go back and forth. But we're kind of going to have to do that anyway, because if you are running the goblin stuff and people want to interact with the goblin stuff, so you find that you are having the same 4 or 5 or 6 players that are doing that, they are going to level in that game system differently than if I'm running a adventure that actually is happening on Catalosa Prime or another plane or doing something like that. We'd really have to look at that kind of character balance thing, because I don't mind if they bring a different character sheet or even a different character between your game and my game. Like, that doesn't bug me. With the understanding like how the database works and all that other kind of stuff. But for the ease of it for everybody else, I kind of would like it to be kind of standardized. So I think starting off, just keeping it with 5th edition, which, you know, we'll be honest, has the biggest player base of any of the games right now, is probably the easiest way to handle it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it might be you have to make a 5th edition version of your character at a level that we say, and then if you want to play in other people, maybe we don't let anybody level up. You're just that level in these games type deal.
I mean, I could see it going both ways on that, about allowing people to level up versus not allowing them to level up. Like, it comes down to, like, what is the concept of the D&D stuff fitting in the world? Because if it is just they're doing things in between, like, events such as, well, we want to figure out the rest of this goblin stuff / we want to figure out this undead stuff, then yeah, I guess I could argue them not leveling up. So it kind of feels the same, because how would one character be this super powerful mage in one moment of the week and then not in the other?
Yeah. Well, and it's also like, if players are interacting with your goblin stuff and the goblin stuff is not happening on Catalosa, it could be a different character sheet tied to their Crestfallen characters. Could be the same exact character, just expressed in a different way, or it could be a completely different character. It adds some of that complexity back to it that we don't want to hit on the database stuff a lot this season. So I kind of don't like that portion of it. But
I would say my big thing is all the stuff that I have planned for it. I am not trying to touch any of the database stuff with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
Like, I am really trying to keep it as grounded as I can get, and like, that's why all the goblin stuff, like, it would build into something complex over time. Like, I'm not going to have it build to something complex, tear it down, and then like immediately have it be complex again, because I feel that with the way the November event ended, like, everybody is kind of out of resources to do much, and they had to rely on a very interesting source to give them a second chance, and now they're trying to not have the same fate happen again.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And Dom put it well, like, it all circles back around to the how does this play out in the actual Crestfallen world. And that's the thing we really need to, because I am okay with there being two dissimilar versions of a character. Like, this is 5e Corbin versus this is Crestfallen Corbin versus this is Shadowrun Corbin, and I'm okay with that. I can separate that thought process. Like, if I can do something in one game system and can't do it in another, that doesn't have to correlate in my head.
We've already hinted at all that stuff during the Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough.
Yeah.
Like, Baldur's Gate 3 Hubert is vastly different than Pathfinder Hubert.
Yeah.
In many ways.
Yeah.
Because, like, Hubert doesn't know how to do lightning stuff, but because of the bond he forged with Corbin, somehow the world allowed him to do that.
Yeah.
Because of the bond he formed with Protonus, he has the time stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the Shargle gave him the blood stuff, and I forgot what the Kuyar one was, but like, vastly different.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm fine with that. That will, the only problem that brings up is that will trigger the database kind of thought process thing if we let it.
Well, it's going to anyway, because everybody is still, all right, I'm going to put it slightly blunt, everybody's too dependent on it. So it's still going to come up.
Yeah.
I know for a fact it's still going to come up. And that's okay. Like, that's part of the learning curve. Like, everybody was dependent on this thing too much, and now that the goblins snuck it away and used it against them, what do they have now?
Yeah.
Like, because of the data box that was hidden in a not finished item project, they were able to sneak in, grab it, get it out. And Goblin King was already screwing with it, so it just made sense that it was like, well, we were leveled enough, or with the, like, we've studied you guys enough that we realized your openings and we seized them.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I had to explain to the NPCs during my event, like, the thought process of the goblin, the Gubbelos was the fact that we've already beat them.
Yeah.
They're just flies, and they're flies that are flying around annoying us, so you just swat them away.
Yeah.
But if they're cool, they're cool. Like, that's why, like, I was like, hey, welcome to the couple nights at the Gobsbury.
Yeah.
totally not based off a movie or anything, guys.
Yeah,
I totally didn't have to pull an idea out of my mind last minute, guys.
But yeah, as long as Chaz put in the thing, like, in the chat, like, this just sort of happens somehow and nobody knows the how or why kind of thing. And that's kind of what happened to Hubert too. And as long as everybody's cool with that being the base of the discussion, that's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I think that works out just fine.
Now, I think that, like, it's probably good for us to find a answer, but, like, it can absolutely start like, whoa, what the fuck was that? You know?
Well, I think everybody already knows kind of the answer. It's just
Well,
whether
so, like,
whether you guys,
we do.
yeah,
but there will be people that are going to interact with this as like a system that are not,
yeah,
you know, the like 5 of us that are all the way down the rabbit hole already.
yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I am fine with that being the discussion, or that being the explanation, because, like, Hubert didn't ask really. He was like, okay, why is this happening? This is happening for a reason. I'm probably going to figure that out as we continue doing this thing. And that
Hubert's like, great, another mess I got to clean up. Well,
right.
All right, let's get to work.
Yeah. And so I kind of,
I loved it that halfway through that game, I edited his appearance to have a beard grown out. Like, are you okay, Hubert? No, I'm not. I've been stuck here too long. Oh man.
But that's kind of the thing. Like, I am fine with it being the, oh, okay, people that are in the know are like, oh, okay, we still have some kind of attachment to the database. We just don't have the control of it at this point. And as long as it's kind of left at that, then it's, I don't see it as a big deal. But I mean, as long as everybody's okay with that's the explanation of why these things happen and how it occurs, cool, I'm down. Like, that's fine. But I don't want to mess up the feel of the getting back to Westernville that we're trying to establish for this season by having people like focus on all that other stuff a lot.
Well, that's why, like I said, I have a couple ideas. I could either completely forego the goblin plot I had in mind, which is kind of the plan I'm leaning to, and have some ideas of, like, outside the town they're in, there's some stuff going on. Or, like, yeah, we just basically say this is why this is.
Yeah.
Same thing like you said we did with Hubert. Like, this is why he's here. He doesn't know. He's just here.
Yeah. No, as long as people don't have a problem with the disconnect between what their characters can do at Crestfallen versus in this thing, and don't have like any of those are the two hurdles, and those are hurdles that I don't have an issue with, but I wanted to make sure that everybody has, you know, a semblance of an understanding of where they wanted to be on it. Dom was saying I was something about making an item similar to the constellation board for it, like a legitimate item card, and the people touch the board and are there. I think that breaks that thought process of like bringing it back to low tech thing. Because
I mean, it would, because you're basically making a semi portal to these places. Like okay, I'm gonna make it clear at the symposium. So here's the rough draft now for any people watching the VOD later. We went, Dom and I, to a camp, and we saw how it went out, and immediately I got a vision. It was in my head. Script was basically spilling out of my brain and into mumbled words, and I turned around and I told Baron and our other plot runner Britt that I have a vision. Just give me some time to stew it up, and I will present it. Into which I presented it to Baron. I have not presented it to Britt yet, but that is going to change soon now that we're getting closer to game start.
I didn't want to do any of that stuff until we had the schedule finalized, because we might be only doing 1 days and stuff, and I didn't want to get anybody's hopes up.
I know, but I just, since we're talking about other worlds and stuff, and the tech stuff's getting brought up, that is why I'm making the rough cut version of this now, and then I'm probably going to explain to more people if more people show up to the symposium. Like, at the end of the last event, our players made a deal with a guy who is not really a good guy. Not an evil guy, but not a good guy. And a lot of his background is down to earth, like Wild West stuff. And he told everybody that I have a place for y'all that y'all could call home. But in trade, there's going to be some different things around here. Like, there is no Dracons to go run and tell mommy and daddy on this person and that person. Like, you have a problem, there is, like, a couple people in town. That's it. So, like, y'all, like, gotta handle that problem yourself. And a lot of that was, for a while, we've been stewing on the gunslinger stuff that our good friend Dom made, and it's kind of bothered me that we tried to test it and then we could never find an opening to insert it into the games because people kind of took the tech stuff and ran into super sci-fi with it, which again is okay. It was the players' decisions to do so, but it very much left a lot of the frontier aspect that we advertise gone. Now, granted, frontier doesn't necessarily mean Western frontier. It could mean anything, but it was kind of pitched to be Western.
Yeah.
Okay. I will just put it that way. Like, it was pitched to be Western. Because, again, frontiers has different definitions.
Yeah, the human lineage is based off of Western tech.
Which is why I will not lie, and this could be a misunderstanding from me, but when I was told that it was a frontier fantasy game, and I was told how the humans were, basically, I thought he did mean that it was like fantasy meets Wild West. So, again, frontiers can mean anything else, but I wanted to bring back some of the old feelings of our game that were kind of forgotten due to the database stuff. And a lot of that is the gunslinger stuff's getting tested. I have a feel, obviously, for the character I play. Baron has a feel for the character he will be playing. And like I said, I didn't say anything to Britt yet because, like Baron said, we didn't know the schedule and stuff. But now that we're getting at least to the tavern event, I'm probably going to bring it up here really soon to her and be like, so this is kind of what we're thinking. Because we're also planning on running things differently this year, which is kind of exciting. No more one person rules the whole event thing. Not necessarily rules, but it's not, here's the pressure of a whole event. Have fun with that. Oh, it's my turn to have that? Cool. Like, I feel that it's going to be very... Hopefully everyone works together.
That is a healthy change, honestly.
I mean, it is and it isn't. I'm not going to be surprised if there's different point of views on this new way, and that's okay. That's what makes a team work. Like, everyone's going to have different point of views, and you just figure out where the mutual ground is.
My immediate concern is that people are going to default to the mommy or daddy that they want to talk to because they know that they will get the response they want from their particular person.
That just means that we need to be on a tighter page as staff and make sure that we're all weighing in on things.
Well, the big thing is that Dade, whenever he pitched the concept to me, like the NPCs that we'll be playing have our own particular lanes, so hopefully that will fix that situation in particular. And as long as we're vigilant on the, hey, that's not my lane, go talk to the character that it's their lane, will be cool.
Well, and that is the idea. Like, if you try to tell me something about, because I know you guys know about the Huntsman, so I'm okay talking more about him than the other characters we have behind the veil currently. But I am making it abundantly clear that I'm going to be like, not my bull, like, not my bull, not my rodeo. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, not my ride. That's their thing. Cool. So I don't think it's going to be too bad, but I do see it kind of happening. But if it does, like, we got it.
Yeah.
I believe in us.
Yeah. No, that's just my gut concern. But yeah, overall, I think that with the players that we have currently, they're going to be more understanding on that aspect versus some that would go with typical other LARP mindset and go and, you know, try to kidnap the one plot director for amounts of time. I don't see that happening necessarily. And the other big thing is, like, a lot of the stuff from last season has been handled, so it's already going to have a different feel, because there's not going to necessarily be the goblins are over there. They're not gonna be messing with you in your area. The undead are doing their thing. They're not going to be messing with you in the area.
Cursed creatures we've teased are still kind of doing their weird, mysterious thing that is in the works.
But
like,
I
all the
think
things
that
we kind of have planned are doing things, but not actively.
I think that basically what we're getting at is that this town is going to have more of the feel of the one days, like you're out in the cut. There is no town established. There's none of that stuff. So for the good and the bad, that's going to be where it's at. And
dude, and if we get the site like we want it, like it's going to have that whole feel to it just from the aesthetics of the site. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. I'm just super glad it's not one that we have used actively for.
Yeah.
Like, that was my big concern. And
I like that we get that rustic aesthetic without something that, like, dozens of, like, area LARPers are intimately familiar with.
Yeah. I that was a big thing for me. So I'm super glad, and I'm hopeful that it's gonna be cool. But yeah, like the folders and all that stuff, not happening. It's gonna be a lot of player directed stuff. It's more of a chance to teach the players how to interact with it. Like, we've tried to explain it, and we've kind of seen it default to the standard LARPing in Western Pennsylvania kind of feel. And it is more of the, nope, we're gonna show you again and try to explain it and try to put it out there. And I think Dade did a really good job with his event of showing that difference in mindset and the ramifications of that. Because how often do towns literally explode?
In a 130-mile radius, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about that one, Chaz, about how big the bomb actually was.
No, I didn't.
130-mile radius.
Jesus.
Gone. Crater. Just decimated.
I've got no idea how the fuck my characters got out of there. I wasn't at the event, that's how, but like... Jeez.
Yep.
Well, I guess it was a good event to have a medical concern keeping me away from it.
It definitely had a different feel to it. I was dealing with the whole truck breaking down and all that other stuff to actually enjoy it, but hello computer, please don't tell me that you're okay. There, it just hiccuped.
I don't know, I'm not gonna lie, like, you guys got through the event and all I heard was like how great you guys felt it went, and I was like, full transparency, I was not expecting that.
Oh, I was expecting everybody to just dog on it because they lost, and then I was surprised.
Yeah, no,
but to be
like,
fair, I only had 4 people that understood, like, they understood the ramifications, and they were all super cool about it. And we were like, Baron and I were actually surprised at the conversation of, well, if we find a new town, we need to not repeat these mistakes happen. And we were like,
holy
damn.
shit, adventurers do learn.
A little bit. We were just like, damn, we didn't expect this to happen.
Well, like, full transparency, if I wasn't like part of the staff discussions, like, you're absolutely right that it's like not a regular practice that a staff would literally blow up one of their towns.
Yeah.
So like the fact that it happened is super cool, despite it being like a failure on the PC side.
Oh, and I'm gonna just flat out say it. I'll gladly do it again. Just don't push. Just don't. just don't. Don't
Dare
get me
me
down
not
there.
to. I'll do it.
I did it because I liked it.
No, it's
Super cool.
yeah, but it's the thing, we want it to be a learning experience and not like a just dogging.
Yeah, and I feel that it very much did, because like the people that were there were seriously talking about like, okay, well, where do we go from here? If we find a place, what do we do? And that is why, because they could, like, the next town could have went many ways, but everybody specifically chose the Huntsman way, and I was like, okay, so this is the vision coming alive, and I needed to like be like, so this is what I have planned, guys.
No, that's cool. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, it is now half hour past. Oh, go ahead, go with your thing. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna cut us in 5 minutes. So
I was just gonna say I'm really glad to be like moving away from Oz in this new direction, because he needs to be put on a shelf for a little bit. I need some other players to figure out how they're gonna solve things without me.
no, fair. Getting back to the Western stuff is going to be fun. I'm super excited for the character that I'm going to be playing. I've already been thinking and designing and doing some other stuff. And Dom already found a way to shelf tech, so yeah, there's that too. So yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, whenever I was doing stuff for Boulderton, I wanted to show people the resources they could have, and I think that after all of this, the players will understand how many resources they were granted with that town, and now they get to decide, you know, what they want to deal with and what they want to have and what they don't, and what they're willing to do to get that and deal with that kind of thing. because
Yeah. My concern with that is how will that affect their, research guilds and other guilds, merchants guilds, etc.
no guilds.
No guilds, no stuff. Like, everything was strangely tied to a thing that you guys now don't have. Like, all this talk about everybody saying they're fake, they never were. Now you guys kind of have to prove that. Like, this is ground zero. Like,
Okay. Like,
it's
all these players have invested many CP into some of the research guilds and that.
yeah.
How's that gonna not make people feel like they wasted their build?
How's that gonna make people not feel like they wasted their build? My big thing is for those that put CP into like guild stuff, you have a tie to it somehow. There's in-game reasons of what you have a tie to. Maybe be the person that starts one. I mean, we've already dropped that hint that there is another new guild out there that is weirdly structured compared to the rest of them.
Not only that, the other guilds are still out there. They just don't have a home in this place that you guys decided to move to. So you guys can still access the guilds between events and things of that nature. Like, they might give you a job to do, but there's not like a folder readily available to buy things from. There's not a guild master there in that town to do the thing. So
build a guild with all herd.
Yeah, that's one option to it. The only guilds that people have really joined, to my knowledge, are research and thieves. I don't think anybody has done the other two. So whether
It won't prevent us from joining any guilds.
No.
Okay.
No, it those resources aren't easily available in that town. So
I plan on going down the surgery route eventually. So
yeah.
gonna need.
Oh, good. I just want to make that clear to everybody. Like, it's just that stuff is not accessible is the only difference. Like, Baron put it in a nicer way of like, they're still out there. They're just not here.
And part of that is player choice, and the other part is going to be the player's choices as you kind of progress through things. Because we gave everybody all the guild, or access to all the guilds, and access to, a bunch of NPCs, and it turned into a lot of like, we're going to ask them to solve our problems, and then not focusing necessarily on any of them, kind of deal, which is fine, but then comes back to blow up in people's faces. So
hey man, I did everything the research guild asked of me.
You did, but the research guild is not in the town, like, worried about like this bomb that's going to blow up. Like, you guys are the ones that are there, so they're all like side missions are based on their guild headquarters, which is over like, many towns over. So no, it's just, it is that different aspect of plot is not being directed down people's throats. It's like, if you choose to want to interact with it, you have to go kind of search it out, kind of deal. So if
here, and I gotta make some money for Dax so he can hire people to do shit.
Sure. I mean, what people? But good luck with that. But I mean,
I mean like players, like
Oh.
hiring players to do things.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of aspects to it. So it's, yeah.
Makes sense.
Cool. Anything else? Bueller?
I got it.
For me.
Cool. Well, we went almost 40 minutes longer, but cool. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I think this worked out pretty well. I guess I'll go through the rest of the conditions on the next one. That'll be in February, but we will go from there. Awesome. So, yep, we're hoping. I still have not got confirmation on the symposium. I sent the check in. It has not been cashed. I'm going to try to contact them, but that is their like second job thing. And we'll know more of the regular schedule by February. So fingers crossed. I will see you guys later and have a great night.
Yep. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Nope.
Swear words.
Okay, all. Have a great night.